Colorado Springs, this real estate market is filled with contradictions. It is an interesting market, and it's contradictions because of interest rates and inventory. So if you're moving to Colorado Springs, or you live in Colorado Springs and you want to move, buy, or sell, then you want to listen to this video and stay to the end, because I'm going to talk about some of the behaviors that we're seeing already in mid-March 2023. But we're going to talk about the February 2023 real estate stats for El Paso County, Colorado, and just check out what's going on and what we're seeing. So stay tuned. Hey, Laura Gallen here with Mountain Prairie Living, your Colorado Springs realtor. And on this channel, I answer questions about the real estate process. We talk about the real estate market, neighborhoods, and cool things to do here in Colorado Springs. So if you're moving to Colorado Springs, or you live in Colorado Springs and want to stay in touch with the market and what's going on, then subscribe to the channel. In today's video, we're talking about the February 2022 stats and the behaviors that we're seeing in the market in mid-March of 2023 when I'm recording this. It's quite interesting, and there's a huge contradiction going on between inventory and interest rates, and it's changing the behavior of this market. Definitely not something we've seen before, and quite interesting. So let's get into it. So inventory is the most interesting thing right now. So for years we've been low in inventory, and I mean 3 to 5 years we've been low in inventory, and it hasn't really changed. So in December of 2022 and in January of 2023, the inventory was 2.2 months of inventory. And if that's a new term to you, what that means is if we were to put no more listings on the market, then in about 2.2 months, we would sell all of that inventory. And it's considered a seller's market. So a balanced market is anywhere between 5 and 6 months of inventory, and a buyer's market is 6 months or more of inventory. So we've been sitting in a seller's market for quite a few years, and we remain there. In fact, in February, we even dropped lower. So it's quite interesting to see that that's going on. So let's talk a little bit more about the depths of inventory. So in February of 2022, total listings on the market were 486. Now in February of 2023, we've tripled that to 1,446 listings, but we're still really low in inventories. So new listings have dropped. There were 976 new listings in February of 2023, contrasting that with February of 2022 when there were 1,186 new listings. Mind you, we were still in a seller's market. We were still low inventory. So we have seen 976 in February 2023, the lowest in 5 years. Now here's where interest rates and inventory are intertwining. So let's talk about the days on market. So the days on market in January of 2023 was 50, contrasted with January 2022 when it was 15 days on the market. In February of 2023, the days on market rose to 54, contrasting with February of 2022 when it was 13. So inventory is dropping, but the days on market is increasing. So what's happening? Well, what we're seeing in this market right now is buyers are paying more for a house, right? The interest rate has risen, their buying power has decreased. So they're being a little bit more stringent. So it's an interesting contradiction and contrast is what we're seeing. So while the inventory is low, buyers are definitely being more picky about the homes that they're going to make offers on. So what does that mean? So if the house is in average or maybe outdated or poor condition, the buyer is typically going to let it sit and probably look at the cream puffs that are on the market in a similar price point. If they have that opportunity, they'll do that. If they're going to make an offer on the average or outdated or poor quality home, they're going to undercut that offer. They're going to drop the price down just a bit to make up for the condition because they're paying more for that loan. The cream puffs, on the other hand, they're getting multiple offers. 2 weekends ago, I had two buyers, one about the $1 million price point, one between $350,000 and $400,000 price point. They both chose homes that were of good quality in that price point, and they were up against multiple offers. So the $1 million or close to $1 million one had 4 offers in addition to ours, and the other one was well over five offers. So we were competing. I pulled out all of my tools from the tool belt for strategy, and I helped them win their offer in this market. But in March, mid-March, actually, that was the end of February, we were in multiple offer situations. And I know a realtor in our office just put a $1,195,000 listing on the market last Thursday. And by the weekend, he had 3 listings, and it's a beautiful property. He had a broker open, so I went to go see it. But we are seeing that with the cream puffs, the average or outdated or poorer quality homes may be selling for a little under list. So why is that? Mainly because of the interest rates, right? So we have very low inventory. Buyers don't have a lot to choose from. Let's put a little number out there. Today, when I pulled the statistics on the market, there were 1,300 and 65 listings or so. I broke it down to single family residents, not manufactured or mobile homes. And that total listings for single family residents, existing homes in El Paso County was 665 total listings, all price points. So if I broke it out to just maybe 400 to 600, which is the typical range, there was just over 300 listings. So that's quite a low inventory of listings. And what are we seeing in the buyer pool? Well, let's talk a little bit about that. So the buyers that are in the market now are serious buyers. They understand that 6.5 to 6.75 or 7%, depending on their credit score, and that is pretty typical market. They've probably bought and sold in the past. They understand that this is a typical market. So they're not afraid to jump in. And maybe what we're seeing driving the active listings coming onto the market are truly things like a job change, maybe a divorce, maybe a death in the family and needing to change where the home is, or resizing the home so that it better fits and suits the needs of that person. There's a variety of life-changing situations that are bringing listings to the market in the recent few months. It's certainly not what's sitting on or what's not coming to the market. So if you're considering selling and you're sitting on 2.25% interest rates or 2.5% interest rates, and you're looking at maybe 6.5%, your buying power is down. So if you sold your house and you went to rebuy, you'd have less buying power and you'd be buying less house. So how does that transpire in this market? Well, new house construction or new construction permits for the last 3 months, that's December, January, and February, there were 338 total permits pulled for new construction of single family residence. But you contrast that with home alterations or remodels in the last 3 months, and there were 11,033 permits pulled. Now, mind you, there could be a variety of smaller things that went on with that, but that's a huge contrast. That tells you that people are sitting on their homes and they're maybe taking a home equity loan or they're doing a cash out refinance and putting money into that home because it makes more sense than trying to buy a different home at a very high interest rate. So we're definitely seeing that in this market. So what's going on with the average and median home prices? In December of 2022, the average home price was $490,910, and the median home price was $441,000. In January 2023, the average home price jumped nearly $35,000 to $525,254, and the median home price went up to $445,000. Now, in February of 2023, the average home price dropped back down to $500,486 or 83, and the median home price went back down to $440,000. So we're seeing a little bit of fluctuation because we're seeing still some hesitation due to interest rates and such, and the buyers kind of challenging some of the asking prices on the average, outdated, and poor quality homes. As I said, the cream puffs are getting above asking and multiple offers. So definitely a contradiction depending on the condition of the home and the interest rates affecting how the buyer views the purchase. And it's something that you really got to consider. If you are going to put your home on the market in this market, then you really need to pay attention to the condition of your home. Work with a real estate professional and ask, what are some things I can do to help this show better or at least look better to the potential buyer coming in? Really important thing to do in this market. Let's talk about appreciation. In the US in the last 3 years, there's been an average appreciation rate across the US of about 37%. In El Paso County, depending on the location of El Paso County that you were in, we saw over the last 3 years a value appreciation at just above 40%. But let's talk about the reality of what a normal market is or a balanced, stable market. It's typically 3 to 5% value appreciation year over year. So what we saw in the last 3 years certainly wasn't normal, but many people are sitting on very good equity and they have very low interest rates. So they're not motivated to sell. As I just said earlier, we're seeing more permits pulled to alter the home than we do new construction. And that's a bit of a challenge because we are already low in inventory. Our county is growing at a rate between 1% and 2% year over year. So we are growing. Our inventory isn't necessarily growing though, and it's going to be a challenge. But what it will do is we're probably still going to have a steady appreciation rate. Now, this year, due to interest rates being a big player in decision-making for the buyers, as well as the sellers not wanting to sell, so the inventory being limited by that or held back, we definitely will see some increase in some increase in appreciation. I just don't think it's going to be these huge jumps that we saw in the last few years. We ended 2022 at about 8.4% appreciation over the entire year. But I think this year we might be more in those normal ranges between maybe 1% to 3%, maybe a little bit higher, but who knows? Interest rates just dropped down a little bit with the 2 bank crashes that just occurred. So there's a lot of things going on in this market. The volatility of the interest rates definitely are affecting the entire US real estate market. But here in Colorado Springs, we're definitely feeling it. You always got to keep in mind that while we have all of that going on with interest rates and inventory, we also have 5 military installations that are going to affect our inventory needs, whether that be rentals or buying a home. We have PCS season. I already have clients coming in for PCS. So it's beginning now, and we already have multiple offer situations at all price points. So it'll be a very interesting market as we move into the spring and summer markets. Of course, the interest rates dictate a lot, so does our inventory. One important last note in this particular market, and you may be hearing buzzwords about it, VA loan assumptions or FHA loan assumptions, because why? The interest rates are low, right? If they were booked in the last few years, there's extremely low interest rates on those. So if you're a buyer or a seller and you're looking at perhaps a VA assumption or an FHA assumption, you really need to do your research on the details of that. It might be a fantastic opportunity for you. And in the best scenario, it will be paying cash for the gap between the asking price and the balance on the loan that you're assuming. That'll probably be the easiest way to do an assumption, either FHA or VA. But with VA, you need to pay attention to your certificate of eligibility. And there are some details that you need to understand. Plus, you need to understand that you'll be bringing to the table a VA funding fee of 0.5%. So a few things that you need to know about that, but that's definitely something that we're seeing as a strategy from a listing standpoint, from listing agents, and buyers are excited about it, but not fully understanding it. So it's important to do the research on that and make sure that you kind of get a clue what you need to do and what potential risks are involved with those assumptions. But that's definitely something we're seeing in our market because we have a large military presence. If you found value in this video, I'm so glad you were here. Subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, and share it with a friend who may be moving here. Maybe you're already military, living here and you have friends coming in from another base. Share this video with them. If you need any help with buying or selling in Colorado Springs, just reach out to me. My contact information is below. But it's really important to stay on top of your market, understand the market, because it is area specific. Everywhere you live will be a little bit different in general, but I'm happy to share any real estate stats with you and information. If you'd like to get on my email list where I send out the monthly stats, then just contact me and I'll be happy to add you. If you're buying or selling in Colorado Springs or moving to Colorado Springs, just reach out. I'd be happy to help. Thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to know more, I did a video on VA assumptions and some of the details that you should pay attention to. So check out this video next. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video.